Welcome back, folks. You're tuned into Apocalypse Radio, and I'm your host, the Mad Outdoorsman. Guys, out here in the real world, we don't just take what we're told at face value. We think, we question, and we prepare. And tonight, we got a fresh batch of answers, straight from the White House, about those mystery drones that had the East Coast buzzing late last year. And let me tell you, these quote-unquote answers, well, they raise just as many questions as they settle. Now, if you were paying attention back in December, you remember the stories. People all over New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. They spotted drones, sometimes in groups, sometimes near military installations, sometimes just hovering in places they shouldn't have been. The sighting sparked a full-scale investigation. The FBI got involved, along with Homeland Security, the FAA, and the Department of Defense. Officials were scrambling to explain where these things were coming from. And what did they say back then? Well, they said they didn't know, right? Remember that? They said they had no intelligence suggesting these drones were linked to a foreign threat. They admitted they couldn't identify who was operating them or where they were launching from. So fast forward to this week, and suddenly we have a White House press secretary, Karoline Leavitt, relaying a message directly from President Trump himself, saying the drones were authorized by the FAA. She claims they were a part of research with some hobbyist activity mixed in. That's the official line. Don't worry, folks, it was all legal, all fine, nothing to see here. I mean, I don't know about you, but that's basically what I got out of the briefing. And with that said, I have a hard time swallowing that. I don't know about you guys. Anyway, moving forward. So how do you go from full-blown FBI investigation with thousands of tips and no answers to suddenly a month later, oh yeah, we know about this so long? Guys, this just doesn't add up. Either our intelligence agencies are so incompetent they couldn't track legally authorized flights, or they did know, and for whatever reason, they chose not to tell us until now. Maybe it was a communication breakdown. Maybe different agencies weren't talking to each other. Or maybe, just maybe, this was another case of information being withheld until they had no choice but to come clean. And let's talk about the phrasing research and various other reasons that the White House press secretary stated herself. Well, that's the kind of vague government speak that should make every prepper's ears perk up. So what kind of research? Surveillance? Mapping? Maybe electronic warfare testing? They don't say. And I guarantee you, if regular folks hadn't noticed these drones, if the public hadn't started asking questions, we wouldn't be hearing about this right now. Now, I'm not saying we should be panicking over drones in the sky. What I am saying is that we should never take official statements at face value. Pay attention to the timing. Pay attention to the contradictions. And most of all, pay attention to how they explain things only after they get caught. So what does this mean for us? The self-reliant, the watchful, the prepared. Well, it means we need to stay sharp, right? Drones aren't going anywhere. They're becoming a part of everyday life, whether for commercial use, law enforcement, or whatever mysterious research the government doesn't want to explain. So if you value your privacy, if you value your freedom, you need to be thinking about visibility, about movement, and what's in the open and what isn't. All right? This isn't paranoia, guys. All right? It's awareness. So when the government tells you, hey, everything's fine, that's when you should start paying the most attention, right? And out here, in the real world, we keep our eyes open, don't we? Our gear ready, and our trust exactly where it belongs, in ourselves. Anyway, folks, that's all for tonight. This is the Mad Outdoorsman signing off. Remember, stay sharp, stay strapped, and stay prepared. Until next time, on Apocalypse Radio.